What's up, YouTube? Today's video is the games I picked up during the month of May 2016. I will say that this month was pretty weak for overall quantity of pickups, as probably the last few months have been. However, I think the quality of some of the stuff I picked up this month makes up for it. So I do have some pretty cool titles to show off that I'm excited about. I did do a little travel this month. I got to visit Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the first time. And interesting city. I enjoyed it. Thought the game store scene was okay. I had some pretty good chain stores up there. There was one independent store that had good reviews. It looked like a cool place to go to. They had posted hours that they were open. I pulled up and they were closed. So maybe that place is good. If any of my fans live in Milwaukee, you can clue me in if that was a missed opportunity to check that store out. But other than that, got some pretty good stuff at the chain stores, if nothing else. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show some Sega Genesis games first. I had a great local find that affected Super Nintendo and Genesis that I got a lot of stuff all at once. So got a few things to show off from that that haul. The benefit of that was this local store does not charge a premium for complete, so I got everything at the cartridge-only price, which was very advantageous for a lot of these titles. First one of those was a complete copy of Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, which I did have this boxed, but the box was pretty beat up. Now I have a really minty complete copy of this. I'm very excited. This game is, I don't know what can really be said about it if you haven't played it, but definitely a piece of the 80s that you must have in your collection. So good stuff, and glad I have this now complete. The next one I got a manual for this month, and now have a complete copy of this. This is one of my favorites on the Genesis, and that is Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master. Got to get that subtitle in there. Really enjoy this game, and happy to have this one complete. And then the last one I got for Genesis, again, was an upgrade. I had it card only. Now I have a nice complete copy of the first print of this. This one I don't see very often, especially in complete condition, because it is one of the paper box titles, and that is Mega Bomberman. And this is a really good quality Bomberman game. I think one of my favorites of this era is Bomberman 94 on the PC Engine, and this one feels almost like a sister game to that. It's very similar in its style, and some of the power-ups and characters that you can ride on too. So very cool game, and excited to have this one complete too. So that's all I got for the Genesis. Next, I'm going to show you some games I got for a system I never find games for. If I do, they're always card only, and I just generally tend to pass on them. If I ever see complete games on these, I definitely am interested. I usually am just put off by the price. So these came into a good deal, and I was very happy to grab these locally as well. So first one of these, or I should say what system these are all for, that is the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Yeah, like I said, a system I really struggle to find complete games for. First one of these I got was King of Fighters R2. I haven't really played any of the SNK fighters on the system, so I don't really know which ones are better than others. I know there's just a lot of them to choose from. So hopefully this one's pretty good. I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. The next one I got is another fighting game, and that is Fatal Fury First Contact. Again, I don't know how this really stacks up in the fighting game realm on the Pocket Color, but definitely willing to try this out and hoping it'll be pretty good. The last one of these I got, and I really love the box art on this one in particular, is Bust-A-Move Pocket, which I have billions of Bust-A-Move games in my collection, just never had this one, and so very excited to have it, and definitely enjoy the artwork on this one. I think it's a very nice representation of the series, so very cool. So that's all the Neo Geo Pocket Color stuff I got, which, again, very excited to have 3 finds for that system in 1 month. Next, I got a couple games that I upgraded to complete copies that I just got lucky and found good deals on in the wild. So the first one of these is one of my favorites on the system, and that is Adventure Island 1 for the NES. Really enjoy this game. I think this one has some cool artwork too on it, so very happy to have that. I also like that they brag that there was 1 million copies of this sold in Japan, so that should be, in the pre-internet age, all you need to know to buy this game on the shelf. So pretty cool. The other one I got a complete copy of as an upgrade for the NES is Bad Dudes, which, we all know the story on this one. Very cool to have that too, just classic 80s artwork on that one, so very happy to have that complete as well. So next I'm going to show you some Super Nintendo games, and again, some of the stuff came from that same store where I got a bunch of stuff complete at the prices for card only, which was very beneficial in this case. First I'm going to show you a couple card only games I got for the system. First one of these is possibly the rarest of the Super Scope games. This is Bazooka Blitzkrieg. I do not have a Super Scope, but I thought this one looked pretty cool based on some video I saw, so maybe in the future I'll grab one. For now, I just wanted to grab the cart, just because I don't really ever see this one too often, so very nice to get this. It's not super expensive, but definitely one you don't see every day. The other one I got for Super Nintendo, again, very common game that just never happened to grab before, is Tin Star. And I've heard some pretty cool stuff about this one. I know you can use the mouse to play it, which I always like to try out Super Nintendo mouse games, so definitely wanting to give this one a shot soon. With that said, let me show you some of the complete games I got for this month for Super Nintendo. The first one of these is Super WrestleMania, and I'm not really a big wrestling fan, but it was in good condition. I got it cheap, so definitely was willing to grab it. Then I got a really nice copy of Super Street Fighter 2. I do have some of the other Street Fighters on the Super Nintendo, I just never got this one, so I don't really know how this one stacks up compared to the rest, but again, nice to have a complete copy of this at a good price. And then the other two are a little bit more interesting to me. Another one of these is a Bomberman game. Again, I think the guy that traded this stuff in was a big Bomberman fan. I got Super Bomberman 2 complete, which is a game I've owned and loved for many years. Just never had a complete in-box copy of this, so very happy to have that. And then probably the best of these by far would be a really nice complete copy of a first print Contra 3 The Alien Wars. Really excited to have that. Seems like usually whenever I see these in box, they're always the Majesco re-release, but this was a very legit first press copy by Konami of this classic game. So very happy to get a nice upgrade of that to complete as well. Alright, so with that said, let's move on to some other systems. I got one game for the Wii this month, and this is one that I just grabbed because I thought it was unusual that it was released here, and that is Championship Jockey, GI Jockey, and Gallop Racer. So I guess it's part of both series from Tecmo and Koei. Never played this, but again, very unique. It also has some kind of weird balance board support there with the jockey standing on it. I don't know about all that, but figured this is one that might be tough to find in the future, so I went ahead and grabbed it. I got one very cheap 360 game this month. I don't think this is going to be something that's that great to play, but it was interesting because it was part of a series I like. So this is Project Sylphid. I understand that this one is not a shooter, or at least not totally a shooter. It's more of a adventure-style game, sim, I don't know what you want to call it. But it is part of the Sylphid series of shooters, so I thought I'd go ahead and grab it, and it was like $1, so it's a really nice shape too. So then the bulk of the rest of my pickups are for PS1, because again, I've been buying a lot of PS1 stuff over the last few months, kind of my #1 interest lately. I got a really minty copy of Dino Crisis 2. Thought this was superb shape, actually. Usually I see these are all beat up. Then I got a copy of Wild Arms 2, one of the few Wild Arms games I didn't have. I got a copy of Vagrant Story that is complete with the demo disc and everything, so that's pretty cool. I've heard a lot of good things about this one. For some reason I never bought this back in the day when I was buying a lot of Squaresoft RPGs for the PS1. I got this game, Dirt Jockey Equipment Operator. I really was a little disappointed in this one when it first came out, and the reason I didn't buy it a long time ago, I bought the game Power Shovel by Taito, which is very similar in theme to this. I was surprised that the PS1 got 2 heavy equipment games like this. This one is also Japanese developed, but it does not support the Power Shovel controller that was unique to Japan for the Power Shovel game. So I always thought that if there were 2 games that supported it, I would go ahead and pop for that controller. But when I found out this one didn't support it, I thought, never mind, I'll just play it with a standard DualShock. So anyways, cheap game, kind of interesting, and I don't know, you never would have thought heavy equipment games could be fun like that. Probably the coolest thing I got for PS1 this month, and probably the game I'm more excited about than anything, was one of my finds from Milwaukee, and that is a beautiful, complete copy of Klonoa, Door to Phantomile. I had a really nasty disc and gutted manual copy of this that I've had for the last 15 years, and this was a upgrade I've always wanted to make to a nice complete copy of this, so I'm super excited to get this. I really love the Klonoa series, and this game is a lot of fun to play. So, in my opinion, it's one of those games that is very expensive, but it is actually worth the money due to the amount of enjoyment you can get out of it. Next, I got another piece of the Crash Bandicoot series. This is one I never had, and that is Crash Team Racing. I don't know, kart racing games were a little bit played out by this point, but I think this one always got good reviews, so maybe it's pretty good. I'll have to give it a shot. Another game I've been wanting for quite some time that I picked up this month is Heart of Darkness. I've noticed this game starting to go up in price a little bit. I've always read good things about it. I just never decided to grab it. And I found a nice clean copy of this one too, so hoping to try this out very soon. I got a first print version of Soul Blade, which was the lesser known prequel to the series Soul Calibur. And yeah, just nice to have this. Some of those early Namco fighters seem to be getting a little more difficult to find these days. And the last thing I got for PS1 was a sports game, but this is a sports game that for some reason commands a pretty high price. I found it really cheap at a local store, so I decided to take a chance. And that is Open Ice Challenge. And I believe this is kind of like the hockey version of NFL Blitz or something like that. I think that's why it has popularity. I don't know. I think it was an arcade game at least. Don't really know a whole lot about it, and I'm not really big into hockey, but decided to go ahead and grab it because it was cheap. So, down to the last game I got this month. This was a recommendation by Crack Lotus. Decided to grab it as well. And that is Tao's Adventure, which is Curse of the Demon Seal for the DS. Just one of those last few Konami, first intellectual property games that you don't see anymore. From a Japanese, publishing side at least. So very happy to add that to my DS collection. And I have one last thing I got for this month. This was just a manual for Mylan's Secret Castle on the Game Boy. Just thought that was very unique. I also want to show inside the manual here, there is an interesting ad for a pamphlet you can order for Master Higgins of Hudson Soft's fame's tips for kids to not play video games too much or something like that parents could order. I don't know how many people actually ordered that out of here, but I thought it was kind of funny. Maybe somebody actually has that pamphlet in their house, but I think that'd be a cool piece of memorabilia to have these days. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please take a moment, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day or night, wherever you are.